Friday. It is April 18th, and I am Gina coming to you from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, where I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So welcome to today's class, which is the Storybook Memories workshop class, where we create 6 alternative scrapbook pages and 5 cards. So when you guys get on, say hello, tell me where you're coming from. I'm going to make sure I am where I need to be. Make sure that I'm live here. My volume is off. I haven't popped up yet, so I'm waiting to see if it'll just kind of do it on its own. Here we go. Hello, Kate. Welcome. Coming from New Jersey. So I've got lots for you guys. Hello, Karen. First off, a few things. I lost my train of thought. Here we go. I do have some kits left of the Flip Flap class. So if you are interested, I do have some of you waiting for the Flip Flap class to get mailed. I had to order more. So we're using the Scrapbook Flip Flaps to make cards. So this class is available. It's $22 plus shipping. So I said I have a few of these kits left. If you would like one, please reach out. So we made a shaker with this one. And then a normal card here. So if you would like this kit yet, please reach out. And I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek. I have half of April's scrapbook class done. So I got one of the 2 pages done. So here is one page, and I have another page to go, but I thought this was kind of fun and a little bit different, taking a bunch of circles, putting them together. We did some watercolor background, and I like the pops of color with a little bit of black and white. So I hope you guys are going to really like this kit. This class is April 30th. And then I have the morning create class on the 28th. So I won't be live next week, but I'll be back several times the following week. And then today's class is all about these cute little critters. We have Storybook Friends, and you have Storybook Garden. I do not have the Friends set. It was one of those sets that was always on back order. But I do have the Garden set, and so we're going to play with this set today. So this kit, you can get this class as a product-based class. This class is $65 order. Now, remember, we changed things. We no longer have host codes. Host codes are a thing of the past, but everyone earns rewards now. So you earn 10% rewards on every $20. So everything over 20, you get a 10% reward. And I believe it can be used on your next order is how it works. So we have that. So you have to place a $65 order with me to get the bonus kit that goes with this. Stampin' Up! Provides you with these layouts to do with the kit, but I like to show you guys something a little bit different, give you more options than just using the kits the way they come. So I've got these all upside down here, so we'll flip them over, and this is what we're going to create today. So 6 different alternatives. We've got a little weaving that we're going to do, some paper weaving. Okay. Hello, Leanne. Hope you are doing well. And then I have 5 fun cards for you. And I think we'll start off with the cards today because I have those kits right here, and they're ready to go. So I've got 5 cards, and when you're done with this kit, there is so much left over. You still have DSP left over, 2-tone cardstock. So in these kits, you'll get 2-tone cardstock. Let me see. There's 2 white in this kit, and then we have a Calypso Coral. Okay, Lost Lagoon. I'm not able to get it apart. Pebbled Path and Crumb Cake. And then you get these 2 sheets, one with stickers and these are all pop-outs. So we'll be using these for our kits. And then it comes with several sheets of DSP. Now, the sheets of DSP, as I've told you guys before, are slightly different than what's in the regular DSP pack. So the DSP in the regular DSP pack is different than this kit, okay? So like this strawberry paper is an additional paper in the kit, and this basket weave boho blue is an additional one in this kit. And then I think the patterns vary just slightly. They're not exactly the same, but very similar. So let's get stamping right away, because I've got a lot here to do with you tonight. And I know you are all probably really busy with Easter coming up. So let's see what card I have. Here, we'll go with the blue one. I know which card that is right away. Okay. So this, we're just showing off this beautiful DSP. So we have the two different types of strawberry, little basket weave going on. Brought in some boho blue. As a lot of you know, our in colors are retiring. What do we have? This is the 23-25 colors. So we have boho blue, moody mauve, copper clay, pebbled path, and wild wheat. I haven't checked yet to see what is still available. I know boho blue cardstock is gone, wild wheat cardstock is gone. I'm not sure what the status is on the rest of the colors, but if you're hoping to get any of that stuff yet, now's the time. Okay, so we have our base. I used Misty Moonlight here, but I had a piece of boho blue, and I figured I could interchange, and you guys can decide which one you like better. So we have a piece of crumb cake here, a piece of cherry cobbler that we cut out with the perennial postage, and we will layer that. So tell me what everyone has going on for Easter. We, of course, will head to the Bertram farm for Easter. Janet will put on a fabulous meal like she always does. Not sure what's on the menu this year, but we'll find out. And then you have two pieces of DSP, one for the bottom and one for the top. And they do not actually touch, but that's okay, because we're going to cover that up with our strip of DSP, okay? I'm going to bring some fruit pizza. That is a favorite. And I think I'm going to bring some sand cake. I don't know if any of you know what sand cake is, but it's basically dirt cake, but the blonde version. So we're using vanilla and Nilla wafers. So I thought, the kids said, oh, we haven't had that for a long time. And Logan had his birthday, and he's like, that's what I want from my birthday cake, is sand cake. And I said, okay. So we had sand cake, and they're like, you should make this for Easter, Mom. So we are making it for Easter. Okay, so now that you have all of your pieces of DSP on, we can mat this up. Like that. And you have two pieces of DSP. One's going to go on the inside, and one is going to go on the outside. I'm going to bring my scissors in, and I'm just going to angle my ends. I like this paper because I felt like it looked like a basket. So that's why I brought this piece in. Okay, so we have that. Now we need to do a little bit of stamping. So Kate, you're having late lunch dinner with family. That sounds wonderful. And who else I got here? Oh, Carissa, you're going to Mom's for Easter. Dustin got a mandatory overtime. Oh, that stinks. That's never fun when you get mandatory overtime. And this set I thought would be a good, I like these big, bold sentiments. And we're going to use best wishes. And Leanne, you are going to do an Easter egg hunt for my niece and nephew. Oh, that's so much fun. I will say, my kids love to have an Easter egg hunt. I tried to get out of it this year thinking, you know, Logan just turned 20, Bella's going to be 17, and you know, Landon's, you know, a teenager too. So I thought I'd get out of it this year. And her boyfriend, Bella's boyfriend, has an obsession with the little rubber duckies. You know, kind of like everyone has the Jeep obsession with putting the rubber duckies in their Jeeps. He likes to collect the rubber duckies. So anyways, Bella, I don't know, convinced my husband. So we're stamping in cherry cobbler on our label. Convinced my husband to get this bag of really itty bitty small baby duckies. And I thought, oh, I'll just hide those for Easter and I'll put a big basket on the table. And I mentioned that I could do that this year instead of hiding the Easter eggs. And I was told no, that I could not do that, that they like what they get in the eggs. And so needless to say, we have little duckies all over our house for us to find. And so we've been finding them, and then we're supposed to re-hide them. So needless to say, I will be doing an Easter egg hunt too for the kids. And then I'm going to stamp happy birthday on the inside here. I have kind of like an ombre look. You probably can't tell that on screen, but it looks like I have an ombre look going on. My ink pad must be light on the one side. Uh-oh, did I not bring a cleaning pad? Let me grab a cleaning pad. I had it. I thought I did anyways. One of those things I was probably walking around, set it down, and probably sitting right on the table. Okay, so we will glue our inside. Actually, we have our strip here. This little strip here, you can use either side. I'm going to use the basket weave. I just adhere that to the bottom of, and cut off the extra. So this is just a 1/2 inch strip that I had left over that I was cutting. And I said, what can I do with this? Because we don't want to waste our beautiful DSP, right? So I thought I can put this on the inside of my card. Okay, so now I'm going to pop up this little banner piece. And center that right over that spot that was open. And I always hold my cards up because, and I do this with my scrapbook pages also, sometimes when I put things on and you can't see above, so sometimes when I put things on, I hold it up just to make sure that it actually looks straight. So that looks better. And then we're going to bring in right here my boho jute, and I'm using this sparingly because I don't think we can get this anymore. So what I did here, this curls really easy, so all I did was put a little loop like this instead of wrapping it all the way across. just to save my ribbon, because like I said, this is retiring, so I want to make sure I can get through all these card kits with it. Oops. So, of the things that will be leaving, what is everyone's favorites that are leaving or retiring that they're sad to see go? So just like that. So you don't even know that I didn't put ribbon all the way across. Kate, you just subscribed to my Facebook page. Thank you so much. If you guys can do that, if you're not following me already, please go and follow me on my Facebook page, Glitter and Ink with Gina. That is where right now I post everything. I did start a page like a year ago on YouTube, but I guess I haven't braved it enough to branch out quite in that world yet. So I have to upload a video before you can actually subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that's my next step. I did buy a stand to start maybe possibly doing my own videos at home. It's all in baby steps for me, so you know, one step at a time. So here is our first card, really simple and easy. And then I just added some of the brushed gold butterflies in this kit. So along with this kit, you will get any extra ribbon, any cardstock, the brushed butterflies, any die cut pieces. You'll get all that in addition to what you order. So you have to order the kit, the workshop kit, and then I supply an additional kit for you to make the projects as I have made them, plus the cards, okay? So like I was saying before, make sure you guys are following me on Facebook, because that is where I post things, updates, things like that. So I appreciate when you guys do that. And I also appreciate if you guys would share my videos. When you share my videos, that helps me out too. So I appreciate that. So thank you. Okay, what card do we have next? We have this card here. Isn't this cute? So this is where I use that paper to make a little bit of a basket. So that's what we're going to do with this one here. I know Chris has a ruler and a pen, so look at, I'll grab the orange one. She must have had that here for me on purpose. So with this one here, oh, it's even orange lead, look at that. This is 3 inches across. What you're going to do is take your paper, I'm going to flip it over, and you're going to mark at a 1/2 inch on one end and a 1/2 inch on the other end. Really easy to make. Then you're just going to bring in your cutter, and you're going to, that mark right there, you guys probably can't see that online, but I have a little orange mark right here, and I think there's too many shadows for you guys to possibly see. But where I put my pencil mark, that's going to go right here, and the corner of this is going to go up there, and you're going to line them up. I'm going to cut this little angle off. So you're going to have this little piece that's extra. And then you're going to do it to the other side. Line up your pencil mark and line up your corner. And cut that off. And then you've made yourself a little basket. So you have a piece of basic beige here. Make sure to burnish your edges here. You're gonna have a piece of Old Olive. Now this is the Calypso Coral two-tone cardstock, so you'll have to cut this piece yourself. You'll find that in the PDF, what sizes to cut everything, and use an embossing folder. And what I liked about this is when you emboss it, and I don't know how well you can tell on screen, some of that white core comes through, and it kind of gives it that little bit of a rustic or vintagey look, and I thought that looked really pretty with this set. Now, you don't have to use a full sheet. You could cut this in half if you don't want to waste any paper, but sometimes I feel like it's easier to just put a full sheet down and call it good. So, so like I said, this is the two tones. So when you flip this over, you can see here's our two different colors. So you got the brighter side and the lighter side. And you can probably see the white actually come through more on this side. So I want the light side up. Looks a little bit softer. And we just have a tiny little border here of our Old Olive. Then you're going to bring in some of your Bunny DSP. Now, I will tell you that when I cut mine, I did cut it to make sure that I had some bunnies to show. So I did have to cut off like a 1/2 inch strip, and that's where that 1/2 inch strip for our last card that we did came from. And I actually probably should have put this on before I put it on the Old Olive, but I did cut it right. But sometimes if you've got a little bit of extra, you can cut that off before you adhere that. There we go. And then we're going to use 2 of our stickers. We're going to use our carrot sticker. This was one big long border, and this is left over from what I didn't use on my card before. So I'm going to put that along the edge here. Like so. And I know our carrots are going sideways, but I thought it worked well with this card, so that's what I did. Hello, Hope. Welcome. And then I'm going to, you probably should put this onto, learn from my mistakes before you put it on the Old Olive, but I'm just going to make it go all the way to the edge of our Old Olive. But if you don't want it to go to your Old Olive, put it on before you adhere this mat. Okay, so now we have all of that. Now we're good to adhere this to our card base. Now, how many of you like basic beige? I know there was kind of some, a lot of people didn't like it when it first came out. They're like, eh. But I really like it, especially for, I find like spring cards, when you want something more springy looking. And I love crumb cake, but sometimes using basic beige, I feel just gives it a little bit of a lighter tone, and it just kind of brightens it up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to pop up my basket. And we have a tall sticker that we're going to put on. So this is going to go just above your border of carrots here. And then I'm going to bring in our peas. And of course, I'm going to pop those up. Now, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Completely up to you if you like to pop things up or not. I like to pop everything up and add that dimension. But I know some people don't like to pop everything up, so it's completely up to you. Remember, these are your cards to do with what you want. I hope you agree with me. Yeah, good to hear, because sometimes I'm like, oh, there's not really a difference, but I feel like there is, though. When you put them side by side, there's just a brightness that comes with it. And I really have, it's really growing on me. Now, in my original card, I put this off to the left, thinking I was going to put my bow on the right, but it didn't quite work out that way. So I'm actually going to move my peas a little bit more to the right this time. Make sure I have enough room for my bow over here. And then we have our small strip of basic beige. And as you guys know, one of my favorite sets is Simply Said, and I am so glad that this is carrying over. I don't know what I would do without this set. Honestly, I use it all the time. So I'm bringing in Happy Birthday. And like you guys saw me do on the other sheet, I'm just going to angle my ends. You could banner them if you prefer to banner them. So on my end here, I am actually going to pop this up twice. And I'm doing it twice because I have this popped up here and I have this popped up here. So this way they will be a little more even. I'm actually going to do another and then I'll just put a little adhesive right there. And then I've got my bow here. Like that. Isn't that pretty? Simple, easy. And then, of course, I added some of those brushed butterflies. And then we have to do our inside. So I'm going to bring in the garden set and we're going to stamp our peas in Old Olive. And then I'm going to take my Wink of Stella right over the top of it and fill them in. And that'll pick up some of the color. And give you a soft green. Now, if you wanted to add more ink, you could just dip your Wink of Stella in there and do that. And then I think I forgot to bring, oh, wishing you a beautiful day. I thought I forgot to bring this. And so we're using espresso and Old Olive for our inks. And it says, wishing you a beautiful day. This is for our beach day kit. I think that one's retiring, which will make me sad. I love summery stamp sets, you know, palm trees, flip-flops, beach balls, water. And the nice thing with this DSP pack, and I think this is why I didn't get the Storybook Friends stamp set and dies, is because when you get just the regular DSP pack, it comes with 2 sheets of die cuts of all sorts of little critters and animals, and of mice and squirrels, and outdoor, you know, garden tools and things like that. So you almost don't need the stamp set and dies to go with this paper, because it comes with a whole bunch of them. So there is card number 2 for all of you. Okay, we'll clean this one off. So what's for meals for Easter? Does everybody do ham, or do we do something else? Dessert, or is it just candy? I'm assuming we'll have ham, but there's a very good chance there'll be some chicken also, or something else. Janet always surprises us. Okay, so we're gonna bring in this. And what's great with a lot of these cards is when you get a whole kit like this, it really makes it easy to, I should say easier to design cards, because I'm able to use bigger sheets of DSP on your cards and in your layouts, where sometimes that's hard when you're, like when I do the monthly scrapbook class, and I have to make sure that I get enough DSP or whatever to bake enough kits. So this way everyone I know has enough of the DSP. So we have a piece of crumb cake, and we're doing a bookend card. So we've scored it at 4 1/4, and we've also scored it at 3 1/4. And this little flap here, we're going to glue down. And then we have our boho blue, and then our DSP to go over the top. I love this blue plaid too. I will say that is one thing I love about Stampin' Up. Their designer series paper is gorgeous. Okay, so now we have some of this white woven ribbon, and we're going to wrap this. Try to center it. I think I'm way off over here, so we'll try it again. Redo. Well, I'm going to blame it on the fact that it's just a tiny little strip here, so there we go. Anyone doing anything special tomorrow or tonight, actually, besides joining me live stamping? It looks like Wisconsin here is going to have some iffy weather. Could rain all day tomorrow or part of the day. I was hoping either it's going to be yard work, or my favorite thing to do with my kids is spring cleaning. They're going to love Mom for that. Just how they want to spend their days off. But they had a lazy day today. I came home from work like 12:30, and my daughter's lounging on the couch, binge watching a TV show, and I asked where my youngest was, and she's like, is he outside? And I'm like, nope. Oh, he was still in bed. Oh, to be young again and no worries and get up whenever you want. Mom's not home, so she won't make you get out of bed. Okay, so we adhered that. Usually ham, but didn't get it this year because you're going out of town and you didn't want the leftovers. I get that. I actually made a ham because I've been craving a ham. I bought a ham from Costco, and I actually made it, and we had ham sandwiches the other night and then froze the rest of it. So hopefully it's good to throw in like a soup or a casserole or something like that later. You're going to the hockey game, Carissa. Imagine that. A salute to the Bob Euchre. Wonderful. That should be a good time. So go Admirals. So I also had another strip of the strawberry paper that I cut off to make this. So let's not waste it, right? And we're going to put this on the inside of our card. And I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside because I made this a thank you card. Now, of course, you could put whatever sentiment works for you. But usually my thank you cards, I do leave blank, and I'll either stamp something in them later, or I just put a hand note in there. So we'll put that inside. And then we're going to go back to our ribbon. I kind of went off and you're just going to tie a little knot around the center. Like that. And then on the stickers here, there is this basket weave, and it's a banner. And we're going to take these two pieces, and of course I'll pop them up. So we're going to put the straight edge up, and I'm going to put it down just a little bit lower. I forgot to take the backing off here. There we go. And I already stamped thank you on here. So we'll put dimensionals on the back of our circle. I will say I'm really sad to see boho blue and copper clay retiring. They were my two favorite colors from this collection. And then you're going to put this piece like so, and hopefully I have that straight. Add your circle, and ta-da! Card number 3 done. Add some butterflies, of course. Add a sentiment if you'd like. Okay, we're kind of rocking it here. So on to card number 4. Little Z fold here. And this is where I said the pack of regular DSP comes with all of these little die cuts, and there's a ton of them. So we're going to use the duck in this one, but I used a little watering can on this one. So lots of different embellishments and things like that. So with our card, you're going to fold it in half and then fold it back. Burnish your edges. We're going to put, we got some Cajun Craze here with some of that plaid. Line that up, and then we have 2 arches here, one in basic beige and one in white, and we'll adhere those. Now in your kits, I decided, because you know not all of you may have the Storybook Gordon stamp set, so I'm going to include both these pieces for the pots for you, but you could also, if you have the stamp set. This one I stamped in espresso here. I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a glare here, so I don't know if you can see that. But I actually stamped the pots, but this one I'm actually going to adhere the dies together. Oops, completely moved that one. And you could, if you wanted to, take a blend and color this piece or a marker so that this piece is just a little bit darker. That's a possibility. And that one, I'm making a thank you card also, so I'm just gonna stamp a little cabbage in there because I thought that was cute. And we'll do just like we did with the other one. We'll stamp this little cabbage on the bottom corner. And color it in with our Stella pen and pick up some of that ink. Now I'm also going to just stick a little bit of a corner in there, and I'm just going to go through and darken just a few of the leaves here, just to give it a little extra dimension. Gonna help your little cabbage pop a little bit. Now we can adhere these two together. All right, so now this can be adhered to this panel. And this was one of those cards too. I feel like I had some darker colors here in this paper, but I wanted to still kind of keep it springy, and that's where I thought this basic beige comes in perfect. Keeps it springy even though you've got some kind of fallish colors in here. So we've got that, and you want to make sure that when you stamp your inside, that you stamp your sentiment or your little, we'll call our little cabbage here, in the corner here so that it's covered and not showing over here. Then we're going to put dimensionals on our arch, and we're just going to do the one side so that we don't notice the dimensionals. When we open our card. So how many of you make Easter cards and send Easter cards? Okay, so now you're going to line this up in the center here, roughly. And you shouldn't be able, when you open your card, all your dimensionals should be in far enough that when you open this, it's not sticking through your panel and then sticking to your inside. Okay, so now I almost didn't see where this was. This is another sticker. So it's actually a little tree growing, and we're just going to put it in our little pot here. And I'm just going to add dimensionals to the top portion of it. And you may have to cut off just a slight portion. I know I did this when I made the card. So there we go. And I just put them on together, kind of how I would, and laid them on there. That's all I did. Nothing magical about that. It worked out okay while I was live here. Doesn't always work the way you plan. I definitely had that when I did my flip-flop class. We'll just say it was an off day that day. And things were just not going right for me that day. So I would have loved to have said redo, but the cards are so great. So we're going to stamp thank you in espresso. I hope I do agree with you. It does go faster when stickers and die cuts are all done for you already. I'm going to angle those ends again. Then I'm going to put a piece of tear tape on the back. I mean, that's the nice thing about these kits is everything is there. And I just added ribbon and a few extra things to kind of give it a little extra something. And then what I do with this is I'm going to wrap this around my fingers. And then what I do is twist it like so. So you kind of make it like an 8. And then lay it on my paper. And I'm only going to pop up the one side. Make sure I pop up the right one. And then the other side I'll adhere down. I'm going to actually switch it just a little bit. Try it again. I want my angle of my, I did it much better the first time. I think I want it to go this way instead of the other way. Yes, that way it doesn't interfere with my little ducky here. There we go. Now we're going to take our adorable little guy here. So when you guys get your kits for these, just know that you're each going to probably have something different. Some of you may have a mouse, some of you may have the watering can or rain boots or something like that. And then I'm just going to tuck him. Right there. Snip off my end. And there we go. Add some butterflies. I thought these butterflies were a perfect addition for this kit with being outdoors and things like that. So there you go. Can have a rain can, a ducky, a mouse. Very cute though. So card number 4, we're on to our last card. Okay, and this one here, just to display all of the pretty DSP. So we've just got our layers going on here. So here's our inside piece. We'll set that aside. Piece of crumb cake. And you'll notice the two kind of like bonish designs of DSP in the workshop kits usually have white backs on the back of them. So they're not double-sided. So there we go. Then I have another piece of crumb cake. And of course, as you know, Chris has always taught us, cut something out of your mats. Don't waste any paper. And then we've got our bunny DSP to go over the top. I'm gonna bring in a little bit of that white woven ribbon and wrap that around. I'm going to put it a little bit towards the bottom more because I don't want to cover up our cute little bunnies here. We will pop this one up. Yes, I definitely go through dimensionals because you guys will see I also do them on my scrapbook pages also. Okay, and this will be centered like that. And we're going to bring in just a note. And our boho blue. Pop this up. Put it slightly over to the left here. You can put this wherever it works out on your piece of DSP. Like I said, it happened to work out that both pieces that I cut, I wasn't really hiding much of our bunnies here, so I was able to put it in the same spot. But in case you're not able to, feel free to move it up here if you need to, whatever works best. And then I'm going to take a little piece here and just tie a knot again. All right, we're just going to cut a piece. This seems to be difficult right now. I did so well up until now. There we go. Whew. That was a lot of work to get that little knot in there. So there's our outside. And what did I stamp? Oh, I put a cute little carrot in here, and I put thanks. That's what we'll do. And I just inked up my hand. Note to self and to everyone else, don't stick your hand in the ink pad. And then I'll bring in my espresso. And there's this adorable little carrot. I'll stamp it partially on my paper. And I'm going to bring in my Calypso Coral and my Old Olive and my Wink of Stella. I'm going to juice it up just a little bit here. And it will pick up some of your color from your espresso, but I'm okay because they've been in the garden, so they're going to have a little bit of dirt on them, right? We got a lot of color going on now. Now we've got some orange. There we go. Mary, welcome. You just got back from church. Wonderful. Now hopefully you can grab some dinner and come and join me. So we're just finishing up our cards here, and we'll move on to the scrapbook pages. So here we go. We got our 5 cards done. All you need to do is add those brushed butterflies. So here are our 5 cards. Look at all of this amazing DSP that comes in this pack. Okay, so 5 cards. Now we're on to 6 scrapbook pages. So you guys will have a week, so I'll leave this open until next week, Saturday, April 26th. You'll have to place your orders. Like I said, this is a $65 product order class. And you'll need to make sure that you order the kit with it, and then I will send you the bonus materials once you place your order. And remember, now you're receiving 10% in rewards also. That just launched, I believe, on Tuesday, I believe. Okay, so who's ready for some scrapbooking? Okay, let's see what I've got here. I don't have these very well organized, I should say. I mean, I do, but I don't. Okay, these will get set aside. I don't need these. And you're going to need your 2 sheets of crumb cake for these 2 layouts. So when I design, I usually design as if my sheets are going side by side in a book. That's how I design, so that 2 layouts look like they coordinate together. So you often find that when I do that, that's what I do. So of course you have 2 sides to your crumb cake. Pick whichever side you like. I'm going with the lighter side. Hello, Sherry, how are you? I had the wonderful pleasure of meeting Sherry when we were down in Raleigh for On Stage. So great times. So you have a square of your Lost Lagoon, light side, dark side, and a piece of the green DSP, or you could use the basket weave, completely up to you. Now, I think I'm gonna put the dark side down, so we'll see the light side coming through. This is gonna go on like a diamond. Yes, it was so fun, Sherry. Are you planning on going to Long Beach? Okay, so you've got this one we're placing on like a diamond, and this one we're going to place like a square. Okay, I think they're in there pretty even. Then you've got 2 pieces of white mats that you can put on. Oh, and as always, I'm gonna pop these up. You would like to? Well, I hope I will see you there. That's a whole year away though. Lots can happen between now and then, right? I kind of don't want to think of next March because that's when On Stage will be, and that's also robotics season for us, and they changed our season for that. So it sounds like we'll be doing more competitions, and it is my daughter's senior year, so her choir is going to Hawaii. So she will be going to Hawaii also. So it's going to be an expensive year for me next year. I'm not looking forward to that, that's for sure. I'm going to have to work double time between my 2 jobs. Good thing she's a good fundraiser. She rocks a good fundraiser. Okay. So I think this is about where I want it. We'll see once I get the other one down. Yeah, airfare to California is not cheap. I'd say nothing's cheap anymore, honestly. I remember the days my parents lived in Florida for a couple years, and I used to fly to Florida round trip for $100, and I could bring whatever luggage I wanted. I even brought my scissors because I would go down and I would cut my mom's hair and perm her hair. I bring that all with me on the airplane, and those days are long gone. So you're going to have these pieces here. We're going to take those out. And I'm going to stick those in the corner here. Actually, I could have put these on before. So I could actually see them. There we go. So those are on. Then we're going to bring in, so we've got all these die cut pieces here. So I'm going to bring in these giant bunch of carrots. And they're going to go in the corner here. Like that. Then you're going to have a die piece cut of Calypso Coral, and we're going to bring in one of the stickers that says springtime, and that's going to go in the middle of this. Dimensional back is staying on the back of this label. It's glued right on there now. So we'll center this on our label like that. Of course, we're going to pop up our label. I believe that's going to go right about there. We'll see. We got Mr. Bunny we're going to bring in. So there's this bunny sticker here. Yeah, all these extra bits and pieces make it so easy to put these layouts together. So he's going to go in the corner like that. And then I have a piece of jute here. Hello, Sandy. And we're going to tie a bow. And I'm actually going to, uh-oh. One of my nails fell out. This jute is pretty thick. And of course, to make it last so I have enough for all the kits, I'm going to break it apart. So if you unwind it just a little bit, it then you know, when you're at home and you're doing this, it just works out so easy. When you're doing it live on TV, not so much. Usually you can just rip it apart. There we go. So there's like 3 strands here. So basically, to unravel it, you can use your scissors and stick it in between, or see, that's how it's supposed to come apart, just like that. Then I'm going to take these 3 pieces and make a bow. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Sandy, that airfare is not cheap in general. You know, I went to, like I said, I went to Florida round trip for $100 all the time, and didn't have to pay for baggage then, and you know, it was just so much easier to fly. I mean, I get why they have to do what they do. It's all about keeping everyone safe, but it definitely adds up, especially when you start adding on luggage. So we've got our little bow there. It's not really a little bow. I actually made quite a large bow. Cut off any of the extra that you don't want. Add some butterflies. I did not bring my butterflies, so that's why you're not seeing me put any butterflies on. So page 1, done. Simple, easy. And now for page 2, I'm going to use the light side because that's what I used on the other page. So I have 2 strips of DSP, and I'm going to bring this one up, I'm going to say about a 1/2 inch, okay? So a 1/2 inch from the bottom. Like so, and then we'll layer this one above it. Then we're going to take our white woven ribbon and put a strip all the way across the center. Fold that over. Wow, I cannot center ribbon today. Let's try this. That looks better. And then I do leave the backing on my tear tape on my scrapbook pages. That way I can slide them in to the pages easier. So there we go. That's half the battle. Then there is this adorable frame. That we're going to use. I should have punched all this out beforehand. Okay, and we're also going to use the bunny here. And this little journal piece. And the nice thing too, if you do want to follow the kit per its instructions, it tells you on the back of these what they go to, what project they go to. So that's nice. thought I tossed in, oh, I did. This was the brand new. I thought this was minis. Like, I know I tossed in another brand new pack of dimensionals, but at first I thought these were minis, so. So this is gonna go say right about here. So this is where you would put your photo in. I would say it's about, I think I cut, so when I originally did this for picture's sake, I put a white piece behind here. You could do that also if you want, but I believe it's about a 3x5 photo is what you would put in here. And then, oh, need a few more things. There's the pot here. And the nice thing about these two is that they're a little bit larger, so that works out really nice for our scrapbook pages also. Sometimes you kind of want to fill the space, and maybe you only want to do one photo, but you want to fill the space, so this works out really good for that. So we're going to put our pot up. I'm just going to pop up the top. And we'll glue the bottom. Like that. And then we'll get Mr. Bunny. You know, it's so funny sometimes when you think about when you take your kids to go see Santa or the Easter Bunny. And my kids always loved the Easter Bunny, and I always thought the Easter Bunny was kind of scarier myself. But Santa, oh, that was a whole nother thing. My little guy did not dig Santa. He would not go near Santa unless his big brother was with him. Okay, and then you have one of your strawberries here. So we're going to take this strawberry, we're going to put it in the pot. Our strawberries are growing in pots this year. I was so excited. I went out to my garden and just kind of took a look at, you know, what flowers are coming back. Last year, you know, we first moved into our house, and so it was all new landscaping and trying to figure things out. And we put in a garden, and all of my strawberry plants, I have a ton of strawberry plants coming up, so I'm super excited about that. And then we're going to make a bow. Hard to tell, I planted blueberries and grapes. Not sure how well those did through the winter, but we'll see. It's still early, so... But I saw some, I did not know, because I just assumed sedum blooms in like August into the fall here. And so I just assumed sedum didn't come up till a little bit later. But I have all this sedum growing up too already. So super excited. A lot of my perennials look like they made it through the winter. So it's always good. You spend all this money kind of investing, and you don't know if you've planted it in the right space, or, you know, if it'll make it through the winter okay, or any of those good things. So far, things are looking pretty good. And I didn't know, too, we had an extremely wet spring last year. It was almost... like mid-June before we really got things planted, because it was kind of a little bit flooded in a way. So so you can put your bow on there, and then we have, I almost put this upside down, this little journal piece. that I'm just going to tuck in here. So you can just put a date, you could put names on here, whatever you want. And then I cut a little Cajun Craze banner. I'm going to cut that in half. And we're going to bring in this Some Bunny Special sticker. Yes, Karen, my garden bench will definitely come in handy. So for those of you who don't know, funny story here. Last year for Mother's Day, my husband spent a lot of money on this fancy garden stool for me. And he was so proud of it. It's like got really heavy duty wheels, you know. It's got a nice cart on it and I can sit on it, you know, all this cool stuff. He thought that would be handy while I'm out in the garden. But he spent a lot of money on it. So I was like, you should take this back. Like, we spent a lot of money, just moved, you know, we've been doing all this stuff to the house. I'm like, you need to take this back because this was really expensive. Like, just take it back. Well, of course he never took it back. And it sat on top of our refrigerator out in our garage all along. He never took it back. He really wanted me to have it, right? So, okay. We spread out our banner to make it work on our sticker here. And we're just going to pop this up in the corner. So at Christmas time, I get this box, big box, and it's heavy. And I start to unwrap it. And as I'm unwrapping it, I notice it's this box with the garden bench that's been sitting outside in my garage that he never returned. So page number 2 is done. Add some butterflies. And I said, is this a trick box? That's our thing in our house is, you know, don't trick us with a box of a place we really like. Like, don't give me Legos, but a Lego box and not have Legos in it, you know, for the kids, or a Disney box or something like that. And he goes, nope, that's not a trick box. And I said, really? And he said, yeah, really. I'm like, okay, so you're re-gifting me my Mother's Day gift? And he's like, well, you told me to take it back. And I said, yeah, I told you to take it back, but you didn't take it back. I said, you can't re-gift it to me. And he goes, but you told me to take it back and I didn't, so I just gave it back to you. I want you to have this. And I'm like, that's great, but you're re-gifting it. And my daughter goes, I told you so, Dad. So, yeah, that's the funny story there. So, needless to say, he's not always the best gift giver. So, I got a re-gifted present for Christmas this year. But he was making sure I had that garden bench. I love him, but sometimes you gotta wonder, what are these guys thinking, you know? Okay, so for this one, you're gonna need your white cardstock. And check this out. So you're gonna need 3 strips, or I should say 6 strips. I used 2 of each design. We're gonna do a little paper weaving. I kind of felt like with the strawberries, a little basket weave would be fun. So that is what we've got for this page. And you're also going to have 4 4x4 for your photos. So you're going to take, and I'm only going to put adhesive on it. Should really go like this. So I put adhesive on the wrong side. So we'll do this. We'll start at the bottom instead of the side. So your adhesive is on your right side. So I'm only putting it on a portion of it. And leaving about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch or so between your layers here. So this side has the adhesive, this side does not, okay? Now you want your adhesive up here on the top. Make sure your DSP is going the direction you want it to go before you put your adhesive on it. I should have known when my bunnies were upside down, but that doesn't always matter. Has anybody else's husband done that? Regifted a gift they already gave you? He'll never live that one down. That'll be a story we tell forever. Hopefully my boys have learned that lesson to never do that with their girlfriends or wives someday. Oops. Got a little glue happy there. Okay, so now that we have the top glued and the right glued, we're just going to take our ends and weave them. So this one under, this one over, and then under. So we're going to do the opposite with this one. The strawberry piece is going to go over the plaid, under the strawberries, and over our final strip. And you're going to repeat what you did on the first one with this. So under, over, and under. So now all I do is I take and add a little adhesive on the ends of these. You know, and I was going to do this for a card, but I don't know. I didn't do that. I'll have to save it for another card, guys. So there we go. Cute little basket weave in the corner. And then we're just going to adhere our photo mats, and I better make sure that I lay them out before I put glue down. Anyone else have gardens? I must not have any glue. I don't. No glue under this one. It's just free. So I'm excited. John and Janet went this week and they picked up their baby chicks. So we got baby chicks to go see this weekend. They actually drove this year to get their chicks, so I wonder how that went. Okay, there's that. And then we're going to take one of those strawberries stickers and we're going to put that in the corner. Yes, I'm gonna miss boho. I'm not, yes, blue is not usually my go-to color, but I feel like boho blue is a really pretty, it's a really pretty blue. So it will be missed. I'm sorry I didn't like use it more. I've really gotten into it just recently, I feel like, and so I'm kind of sad that now I'm into it and it's retiring. And I really like it with this cherry cobbler. I think it looks really pretty. So this is going to go down here like that. And then we'll add some butterflies. Oh, we're not. Oh yeah, we are done with this page. Yep, just add some butterflies here in the corner or wherever you would like. There we go. But isn't this cool down here? I just love this. Okay. That is page number 3. For page number 4, all right, where did I put my white? Here's my white sheet. And we got some strips of DSP. Oops. I must have jabbed that on something. So I'm going to put that like so. Thank you, Sherry. Good to hear you guys are liking these pages. At first I wasn't sure. This kind of had to warm up on me, this set. I was kind of like, I don't know. But once I got started with it, I really fell in love with it. And I love these strawberry pages because we go strawberry picking every year. So I have pictures of waking my kids up at the crack of dawn to get out there and pick strawberries before it gets too hot. You know, we're out there at, I don't know, 6:30 or so. As soon as the fields open, we're out there. So this one, I brought it about an inch up, and this one I put right on the edge here. And we've got 2 4x6 photos that can go on here. Put them up a little bit higher. Fill in our white space a little bit. There we go. Your grandma used to take you a huckleberry. I don't know that I've ever had a huckleberry before. What are they? Are they similar to anything? Are they like more of a raspberry, or are they more like a blackberry? I've never had a huckleberry. So you're gonna bring in You Are So, and then we also have this like tab piece. Could be a journaling piece. I'm actually going to stick this down, and this is going to get tucked under like that. And I'm actually, there's this little flower here. Huckleberries aren't, I guess I don't really hear about huckleberries up here, so I don't know if, are those more of a southern thing? There we go. So our flower's tucked in the corner. I think my label's on slightly crooked, but it's going to be what it's going to be. Oh, they're more like a blueberry shape. And they're a cross between a blueberry and cranberry. Okay. And they make great wine. I like wine. My face gets really red with wine, but you know, all it takes is one glass for me. I'm ready for bed. But I do enjoy it. So there we go. We got our label up here. We'll put some butterflies up there. And we've got this big honkin' strawberry here. They're a northwest, okay? Okay. So this is gonna go in our corner down here. And then we're gonna bring in the, oh, you're supposed to put ribbon, guys. Let's see if I can pull this up without tearing anything apart. I get ahead of myself. All right, you're gonna bring in your ribbons and go all the way across. One glass for you too, Sherry. Yeah, my husband always said I was a cheap date. Puts me to bed really, really nice. One of us has to be cheap. He's not cheap. He likes his steak. That's expensive. Okay, so we've wrapped our ribbon around. Now you can put strawberry on. And then I have a piece of Calypso Coral here, banner that we're gonna cut in half again. And we're gonna bring in Sweet. You are so sweet. My fingers are stuck. This is some good adhesive, guys. Yep, my hubby loves the steak. He'll be, if there's steak, he's on it. They tell him he should, you know, hold back on his red meat, and I don't think that'll ever happen because he has gout and gets flare-ups quite often. And red meat is kind of a, they say, is a trigger for it. And I can only feed him so many days of chicken, and he's like, can we have some beef, please? Kind of steak, burger, something. So our sweet is just gonna get tucked down here on the bottom, except I think my banner is a little bit off. Let's try that again. That looks, it looks wonky here. Let's see if I move it down a little bit further. And my kids never used to be, they never liked steak, but they apparently like a good steak now. I liked it better when they were cheap. You could get them a kid's meal. Now I beg them to stop eating. Okay, page number 2, done. Add some butterflies in your corners with it. Okay, and for our final 2 pages, we're going to bring in Pebble Path. And I'm going to use the light side. I feel like we're doing spring stuff, and I feel the dark side just seems a little too dark. So we're flipping that over. And you will need to have your own 12 by 12 white paper and cut it down. I believe these are 9 1/4 by 9 1/4 squares. So you're going to need that for both of these pages. Most of you have white cardstock because all my classes I've taught, I have you provide your own white cardstock. So most of you should have some white in your drawer, or you could also cut these measurements down if you wanted to and use like an 8 1/2 by 8 1/2. Okay, so for our first page, we've got our white, and we have a piece of our bunny paper, which is going to go like this. Then a piece of our coral, which is going to butt up right next to this. And a piece of the green DSP. So we made a little bit of a puzzle here. So that's how these get laid out. Okay, and then this can get adhered to your sheet. Center that on here. Will these papers be restocked? Most likely not. I believe these are all retiring. So right now, the only thing as far as the papers go, I believe that is available is the workshop kit. When I checked earlier today, the workshop kit is still available. So you can still, if you really love these papers, you can still get the workshop kit. And these papers all come in that, along with your two-tone paper. But I could look. I don't know if there is an expected date of return. But being that we are so close to the end of the catalog, we will most likely not see these come back. So this is one of the strips of your sticker sheet. So we're going to lay that across our line here. Like that. Making sure it's on there straight. And then we have two pieces of white here that we're going to pop up. So this, and you're going to put it slightly over the top of your sticker here. And I put it more to the right. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more to the right than the left so that you can see more of that cool bunny paper. I'm just going to leave just a small gap between them. Hello, Miss Mary. Mischievous Mary is what I've coined her to be. So there we go. We've got that. And then we'll bring in those 2 corner stickers again that we used from our first pages. And this time we will tuck these. Underneath like that. There we go. And then we have a piece of Mossy Meadow here. And there is sunshine and warm days that we'll print over the middle of it. And I'm actually going to cut these in half. So if you need mini dimensionals and let's say you don't have any, don't be afraid to cut your dimensionals in half. Another way to help your dimensionals go a bit farther. And then I'm going to pop this label up also. So this is going to go over the center of our 2 photos, and this will go over the center of our label. And then we have some butterflies that came in the kit. Now, one other thing you could do with this, you could save where these butterflies are.
They're fine.
And use this as a stencil. So you could put butterflies on a background. I was going to do that. It just didn't work out with anything I was doing here. So, but you could take this over your DSP. Oops, I just threw my butterflies everywhere. And take a blending brush and add some butterflies in the background to one of your sheets. And I'm going to pop these up because we'll need these also. Now the only things that I didn't use these 2 tabs. Those are easily could be tucked in underneath a photo, you know, and put a date. And I didn't use this journal piece. And this journal piece can be wherever you would like to journal something. But otherwise, we used up every little bit here. Okay, so put them aside. And I'm going to use the coral butterfly. So I'm going to go just like this over here. And then we have a beat sticker. Chris is making all sorts of noise here, guys. There we go. We'll tuck this over here in the corner, and then we will make another one of those jute ribbons. I'll try not to make it so big again. Watch me make this one too small now. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this worked out better than the last one. Like I said, this pulls apart in like 3 different strips. There we go. So then I'll take all 3, gather them up, and make a bow. And I liked tearing it apart just because I felt like it was a little bit more rustic and kind of went with the theme of the pages. What I do here, my strands aren't lined up right, so they're not going over there. We'll try that again. There we go. And we'll put them on with some glue dots. Okay, like that. And this page is done. These pages ended up being really simple, but using the DSPs in different ways, like cutting them apart and making kind of a puzzle with panels here, and doing the basket weave on the other page. So just doing some different stuff with our DSP to show it off. Okay, so this page is done. We have one more page to do. And you need that other piece of Pebble Path. We're going to put our white on. Yum, radish. I'm not a radish person. And I'm not a beet person either. I have tried both ways. John and Janet had us try pickled and fried. And the first time, I had never had them before. And I tasted it and I was like, I had it in my mouth and I was like, what does this remind me of? And I couldn't think of the word. And someone said dirt. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I think they taste like. So they're not my favorite thing, but my husband loves them. And my daughter likes them fried. But the boys are like, but they don't eat much for vegetables. So anyways, we have another square piece of our coral. I am the scrapbook queen, so creative. Oh, that's so sweet, Hope. I don't feel like it sometimes. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm just staring at these pages trying to get them to come to life. And sometimes that Pinterest, I tell you, I don't know what I would do without it sometimes. Now we have another piece, just a strip of our bunny DSP. And make sure it's going the right direction because I might have... put that on upside down otherwise. Your hubby hates them? Yeah, I think it's one of those acquired tastes. Now, my dad he's the pickiest eater, I feel like, on the planet. Doesn't like his food touching, things like that. You know, don't put a pickle on his plate at a restaurant. He will send it back, kind of guy. And of the things that he eats, because the only vegetable I ever ate growing up as a kid was corn. That was it. I did not have to eat any other vegetable. That is all my parents ate. But my dad will eat a raw potato, and he likes radishes. So I think that's just kind of odd. Like, those aren't common vegetables that people will eat, and yet that's what he'll eat. Okay. So now I probably should have tucked this. Put this strip on first, I should say. But I don't think I don't usually put glue all the way to my edges. So hopefully I can just tuck this strip in. Oops. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. Attempt to. I'll just kind of lift up my page here. And tuck it under a little bit so they look like they're connected. There we go. So put your sticker strip, scallop strip on first, and then put your bunnies on. Okay, So like I said, I think this is about a 3x5 photo is what can go behind that. So that's gonna go on here like so. And like I said, I put white behind for photos on the other ones. There we go. We've got the little mother duck here. Mother goose, I should say. And she will go towards the bottom here, like that. And then I should have, I had them out, here they are. I have a 3x4 photo mat in the Lost Lagoon. And these will come out of your paper here because you get 2 sheets of Lost Lagoon, two-tone, and we did not use any in any of our layouts. So this is a 3x4 and a 3x3. I do have to say, I really like Lost Lagoon and Calypso Coral together. So there is that. And then we have 2 butterflies left over on our kit. So we'll put the blue one here. And we have a yellow one. Oops. Those dimensional backs stick to everything. There we go. Page number 6 complete. Add some butterflies, those brush butterflies, so that will come in your kit. So I will bring in all 6 pages, and I'll try to put them side by side so you can see them together here. There we've got those 2. And I just, you know, we've used the squares, but then we brought in some different elements and angles to just kind of offset it just a little bit. So there's that. Here is our strawberry layout side by side. And isn't that cool, that basket weave that we did? So I'm gonna have to do that on a card for you guys. So I've got that. And then here is our first set that we did. And I just love these papers all coordinated so nice together. So like I said, you can get this kit. You can place a $65 order with me. If you have this kit already, you can order $65 of whatever you would like. And remember, you're earning 10% rewards after $20, or for every $20. What are the 2? And then our 5 cards here. So you'll be able to make all of these projects. And we don't have any stickers or any of that really left over, but you do have some two-tone cardstock, and you'll have DSP left over to make more projects. So you have until next week, Saturday, the 26th, to place your order if you would like this kit. I have coming up on the 30th, this is page 1 of 2 that we'll be doing for the April scrapbook class. So mark your calendars for this. This kit is $24 plus shipping. And don't forget, I also have some of my flip-flap cards. I cut extra kits. Obviously, I couldn't count, so I cut extra because you guys loved them so much. So there we go. We use the flip-flap in here to make a shaker card. We use the flip-flap here. You can put a little gift card in here. Just a little cute little flap like that. And then this one, and you can always add something here. You can put a money in here and a flower in here, whatever you wanted to do. So I have these kits available too for $22 plus shipping. So that's kind of what I've got coming up for you guys. I will also have a morning create coming up on Monday the 28th. So we'll make 3 cards for that class. And mark your calendars. I will be doing a card buffet. The in-person version of the card buffet will be that first Sunday of May, which is, let's see, the 4th. So I'll be doing it in person. Online, I don't have the date yet of when I'll do that, but mark your calendars for that. So thank you guys for joining me on this wonderful holiday weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you guys in about a week and a half. So hopefully the next time I speak to you guys, it will be spring. So have a great weekend. Safe travels to all of you, and we will see you at the end of the month. Thank you.